Right, next up is loading your film. So as I say, the 6.7 actually offers you 5 different image formats in the same film back. So every camera comes with these frame masks that you install when you first load your film. That format is set on that particular film back until you finish your film. But I do offer additional film back, so you can carry multiple stocks, shoot different formats, depending on what you want to do. So to load your film, what we do is we remove the caddy. So on the top and bottom, there's little tabs for your fingers to go in, and you literally just pull it away. It's magnetic. So obviously that's the film back. I'll just put that to one side, the main body. So this is the actual film caddy. And as I said before, there's actually three windows here. A traditional 6x6 camera like the Hasselblad has a single window in the center, which is used for 6x6 framing, frame spacing, sorry. This one is slightly different. So we'll start by loading film. So if we turn it over, I've got an empty take-up spool loaded on the metal winder. So this is where you wind your film through. So if you take your new film, this is a test roll I have. The way you want to be doing it is you've got your backing paper facing upwards, if you like, because what it's going to do is when we do this, if you put the film in the bottom there and just push slightly, whoops, and take that out, you've then got your film loaded. So that's in place now, loaded, and we can see this wheel turns as you pull your backing paper out. If we flip this over, you can now take your backing paper that way. So as you say, the backing paper, the numbers on the paper are this side, this light side. You'll see them through those windows from the back of the camera. So you run it that way. I'm just keeping my finger on this film just to keep tension. This is a test roll, which you'll see in a moment when I wind it on. So if we just pass the tab through there, and then wind it on. So once you start getting tension, so that's now ready to choose your format. So we've now got film in there, there's tension, it's not going anywhere, that'll stay quite happily. So now with medium format, you've got these 3 choices of format. These 2 vertical formats, say Pano on the side and Pano S. So that Pano is your X-Pan format, and this runs vertically in the camera. And Pano S is X-Pan with sprocket holes. So I'll just move those to one side for the moment, just because I've got medium format loaded. What you have now is we've got 6x7 format, which is written on the side there, 6x6, and then 6x3, which is a equivalent. It's a 2:1 ratio, so it's like a 6x12 Pano camera. So if we do 6.7 for the time being, so you take your frame mask, and there's a little tab on this side, and that locks underneath there, and then just drop it down, and that's now your mask in place for 6x7. So if I then wind on, what you'll see is this wheel will rotate as you wind on. So you don't need to go any further than that. You can see the arrow there. You just need to get it ready. If I wanted to do 6x6, I would put 6x6 mask on, and there's your 6x6 frame mask. So, and then 6x3, same way, you've got your smaller frame mask. 6x3 will give you 24 shots to a roll. I'd say it's sort of a half frame medium format, if you like. 6x6 will give you 12 shots. 6x7 will give you 10 shots. Okay, so with 6x7, we've got the film loaded. It's tensioned. It's not going anywhere. You've got the mask in place. Don't worry about if there's any bow in there, because it gets pushed down in the film back. So what we've now got, we've got our start arrow just at the top here, and the film's light tight. So if we load it back in the caddy, that's magnetic, so that's not going anywhere. And if you take this tab out the back, you might not be able to see very well through this window here on the camera, so I'll take the caddy out in a moment. But all you do is you wind on like you would with any other medium format, and you're looking in the bottom window of the 3. And as you wind on, you'll see, I'm going to take it out just to show you, make life a little bit easier. There's a bottom window there. It's very hard to get on camera. But anyway, as you wind on, until you see frame number 1 in that bottom window. So there's a frame 1 there. So on the other side, you'll see the film. You won't see this because this is behind your dark slide. but the film is just at the bottom of the gate here. This is a test film, obviously going by the state of it. So if I put it back in here now, and I'll just leave the back on. So you can now, with the frame number 1 in the bottom window, you can now turn to the side, and we've got this indicator wheel. So all you need to do now, keep turning counterclockwise on the metal take-up wheel, and as you do, that frame wheel rotates, and you just want to go to the second time to that. So it was slightly past it before. I wound once and then wound back to that. So if we now take that out, we can see we've got full film in the gate, and that's ready to shoot 6x7. So obviously you don't take the dark slide out on your film when it's off the camera, and you also don't draw all over your film. So we're now at frame 1 for 6x7. So you're ready to expose your film. But what the thing with 6x7 cameras, without having a gearing mechanism for frame numbering, but in the case of 6.7 I'd need 4 different gearing mechanisms for the different frames. I've designed a little analog frame counter for 6x7 and also the 35mm pano. 6x6 and 6x3 uses the original frame numbers on backing paper, so you've got a frame number counter there built in. So this comes with your camera. It's got a little hanging tag to go on your neck strap, or you can put it in your pocket or whatever you want to do with it. So basically, red to red is, if you like, 0. So as you expose an image, you can go on. So there's one frame taken, and it's got click stop, so you can just keep winding right round. So in the case of 6x7, these are all in blue. So that's your 10 frames of 6x7, and you know that you're at the end of your film then. If you're shooting 35mm pano, you can carry on winding into the white, clicking into the white, and you end up with 18 frames of 35mm pano. It's just a little manual reminder. It's not linked to the camera, obviously. It's not linked to winding on. It's just so you know where you're at on the film if you want to do that. Okay, next I'll show you 6x6 and 6x3. Okay, 6x6 and 6x3 both use the frame numbers on the back of standard 120 backing paper, medium format backing paper. They just use a different window in this film back. So if we're now back, I've just put it back to the point where the film is tight on the take-up spool. I know I've got good tension there. If I want to shoot 6x6, I take the mask for that, drop it under there, just click it down. If I then load that back in the camera, I can take the back off, and as I wind on, like other 6x6 cameras, I'm going to use the middle window, and I'm looking for frame number 1. So if I go there, again, you might not be able to see that very well, but I've got number 1 in the middle of the 3 numbers, not the top or bottom. So that is now frame 1 ready to go on 6x6. So that is now frame 1 ready to go on 6x6, and we can see my film is completely exposed there, ready to go inside the mask, which is slightly smaller, obviously, than the main gate on the camera. So that's 6x6. As you wind on, you would just use frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4 in the middle window, all the way up to frame 12 to give you your 12 6x6 exposures. Okay, the last medium format option on the 6.7 camera is 6x3, which is a panoramic format. So again, we've got our film loaded, tensioned. I've just wound it back from 6x6. You drop your 6x3 gate in. You know, we've got a 6x3 mask in place because it's marked. And this is our 2:1 pano ratio format that you're going to get on this. In the case of 6x3, what you would do, again, you put that back in once you're ready to wind on. And on the film back, you would use the bottom, the lower window inside the film back, and the upper window, not the middle. So when you wind on, you will go to frame 1 in the lower window. So that then gives you your first frame. Let me just do that and I'll show you. So there's frame 1 in the lower window. I'll take that out. There's your film ready to be exposed as a 24 by 60 format pano. So basically a 2:1 pano format, and as standard it is in a landscape format, so you hold the camera in that direction. If you want to shoot a vertical pano, you would just rotate the camera to then shoot as a vertical pano. So in the case of 6x3 formats, you would use, for example, frame 1 in the bottom window, take your shot, And then to wind on, you would wind on until frame 1 is then in the top window. Take your next shot. So that essentially gives you 2 frames per traditional 6x6 frame, which is how you end up with 24 shots to a roll. So again, you don't need the frame counter for this because the frame numbers are on your backing paper, so you know that if frame number 2 is in the top window on your camera, you are on image number 4 of your film, because you use each frame number twice. So they're all the medium format options for the 6.7. I'll show you some examples of each of those formats in a moment.